What's up, everybody? It's Dan Greer with Leading from the Middle of the Pack, and I'm up here in Montrose in my brother-in-law's house. I didn't ask him if I could record this. Don't tell him I'm in recording it. He's still at work. His beautiful wife just left with their awesome, amazing son to go to town and do a few things. And I just got done with some training with one of our customers, and it was awesome, and I enjoyed a lot of things. Well, so I got to say this. Controversy is okay. Are you guys ready for this? Did you hear that? Being controversial is okay. And that's what we're going to talk about today. As a leader, as a person, as a figure, as whatever, as a parent, being controversial is a little bit okay. Cue up theme song. We'll be right back.
The big question is this: how are leaders, like us, who aren't necessarily in a management position, who go out and get our hands dirty, who are ready to answer their calling from God to lead, who are driven to learn and grow, gain the trust and respect of those around us, to actually be heard while not coming across as an authoritative prick? These are the questions, and this is the podcast that will give you the answers. Hi, my name is Dan Greer, and welcome to Leading from the Middle of the Pack.
Sweet! So glad you guys are still here. And today we're going to be talking all about why controversy is okay. So the other day, I re-released the intro to our podcast. I recorded me saying the podcast in about 500 different places. And I had somebody make a video and put it all together of me saying it, as well as some other stuff and some words. And I had to laugh because, you know what I got the most out of it? It kind of cracked me up because I didn't even think about it. People came to me and they send me messages, like personal messages on Facebook and on Instagram and on TikTok and on LinkedIn. They go, "You use the word prick in your podcast." Yeah, I did. And they go, "Well, you know that's a bad word." And I was like, prick? Like a pinprick? Like a pain in the butt? Like a prick? No, prick's not a bad word. There's a lot of words that are bad. Prick with a P and an R is not a bad word. But it is controversial, and that's why I used it. That's why it's there. And as a leader, sometimes we got to do things that are controversial. Sometimes we got to do things that make other people go, "Wait, did I just hear that right? Did I just read that? Did I see that?" Right? So I was teaching this class today. It was all about reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion sucks. It's dry. It's not fun to teach. It's not cool. But it's good to know. It's good knowledge to have, and you got to go through it, right? So, like, if you need reasonable suspicion, shoot us a message, and we'll get you taken care of. Shameless plug. I know. I never quit selling. Rule number 1, never quit selling. Never get up. Well, maybe that's like rule number 7. I don't know. I got so many freaking rules I live by right now. I need to write a book of them. That'd be wicked cool, right? Okay, squirrel. Okay, sorry. My bad. Okay, back on topic. Why being controversial is okay. So I was in this class, and it's full of males, females, all different ages, from 20 years old to 60 years up, CEOs and CROs and CFOs and chief safety people and chief HR people and all kinds of operations people and all this and that and this. A whole bunch of people that were in there. And it was fun. And it was awesome. And I knew a lot of these guys. And I had to have a lot of fun chatting with them, which was great. And I loved it. I loved having a lot of fun chatting with them. And as we were doing this class, we're sitting there talking, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, controversy is what keeps people going. Okay. And sometimes you can be too controversial. And I was worried because I've done some classes before. And I'm like, okay, if everybody has any problems with what I say, come up and talk to me about it. And well, I'll make sure that I fix it. Because that's what I do. That's how I fix things. I bring my mistakes, my flaws into the open. So I'm sitting here and I'm like having this conversation with these guys. And I'm talking about it. And I go, how do you think people are taking opioids right now? You know, the pills that they take. And I'm thinking for like, oh yeah, they overdose them orally. Oh, they try to, crush them up and smoke them. They snuff them, they snort them, whatever. This isn't a thing about how to do drugs, right? And this one guy goes, and then he gets real quiet. And I was like, I've been having fun with them, right? So I walked up to him and I go, "They what?" And I kind of look at him and everybody around him's like, "You started it, you got to finish it." And he's like, Then he looks the other way and he's sitting right next to this girl. He looks the other way and he's sitting next to this guy and he gets super red and he goes, They stick them up their bum. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard of anybody taking an opioid by doing a suppository. That is awesome. And everybody broke out laughing. And he was like, oh my gosh, am I going to be in trouble? Because HR's like sitting right behind him, right? She's sitting there laughing the whole time. But anyways, it was a fun opening thing, right? Like it was controversial. It brought a lot of humor to it. But then it opened up the conversation and everybody enjoyed it after that. We were all a little more, it wasn't so dry. Like we'd be able to get them to say stuff and get them to open up, which is the key to being a good leader, is getting people to open up. Okay, hold on. I got to get a drink here. Check out these Dot Docs shaker bottles. How wicked cool is that? All right, enough of the squirrels. Being controversial is huge. That's part of the reason why I use the word prick in the opening to this is to be controversial. It's also part of the reason why I'm not afraid to talk about my feelings. I'm not afraid to talk about who I am or what I do or where I'm going, or the fact that I'm conservative, or the fact that I'm a strong Christian, or the fact that I love my family, or the fact that I'm so happy that I'm married to my beautiful queen of a wife, and she treats me way better than I deserve, right? Makes me controversial. The fact that I fly, the fact that I do different things, the fact that I'm posting on all these different platforms, it makes me controversial. Guess what? Here's the thing you got to remember. If you want to be remembered, you can't be neutral. I'm going to say it again. If you want to be remembered, you can't be neutral. If you're neutral, if you're the Switzerland of every single conversation, nobody's going to remember you. You're not going to be a great leader. You're not going to be memorable. What do you remember? You remember that one person who made an off-color comment. You remember that one person who did something that was extra controversial that you maybe didn't love. You remember people who are controversial in your life. Truth. 100% truth. You remember controversy. You don't remember people that agree with you. Oh yeah, I remember Joe. Joe agreed with me. Yeah, no, you remember Joe because Joe argued with you. You remember Joe because he did something crazy that was outside the box, right? As a leader, you got to be the same way. Now, I'm not telling you to look for fights. I'm not telling you to go out and dig for fights and do everything that you can do to find it. That's not what I'm saying. Don't make a post. Don't argue on social media. Don't argue in general to be controversial. That's not what I am saying at all. Not even a little bit am I saying that. But what I am saying is that it's okay if not everybody agrees with you. Let me say that one more time. It's okay if not everybody agrees with you. And it's okay to be yourself. You know what? I love the fact that I'm a strong Christian. I love the fact that not everybody in the world is a strong Christian. I love the fact that some of my best friends are not Christians at all. I love the fact that some of the customers I work with are like, I can't tell where they stand. Are they conservative? Are they liberal? What are they? I don't know. But I love it because it adds a little guess in there, adds a little controversy in there. But like, you kind of know which way people lean. You know what I mean? And it's because of the way they act and what they do. And a lot of times people are gravitated towards you. If you're like, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you want to live in the United States, Switzerland, Germany, or England? Out of all of those, there's probably one of you that raised your hand that's like, oh, I want to live in Switzerland, maybe because of the mountains, but not because of their politics, because they're always neutral on everything, right? Most of you want to live here in the awesome United States, right? It's beautiful. It's beautiful where we live. It's what we do. It's how we do it. But it's because we have the freedom of speech and we can create controversy. And we're not going out and like searching for it, right? But we're able to be ourselves and we're able to grow from that, which is something that I really need everybody here to remember and to really like think about, is that don't make a comment that's off color that's offensive. Offensive is not controversial. Okay? I want to say that one more time. Being offensive is not controversial. Being disrespectful is not being controversial. Forcing your opinions on somebody else, not controversial. But who are they going to talk about more? I've talked about Switzerland here because they're neutral, but they're like the only people that you talk about that are neutral because they're neutral in every freaking thing that they do. They don't stand up for anything, right? And maybe they do. Maybe somebody from Switzerland's watching this and they're like, man, Dan, people don't stand up. I made this TikTok the other day I got home and I was looking at the beautiful Rocky Mountains. I just spent a week in Kentucky, and Kentucky is gorgeous. That's my second favorite state in the world, if not my first favorite state in the world. I love Kentucky. Like, you can ask anybody around me. Kentucky is one of my favorites. But I got home. I made this post just for fun. I was like, Colorado has something Kentucky don't have. Mountains. And then I talked for 60 seconds on how much I love Kentucky. You know how many people turned on the volume on that post? Like 5. I got comments from people that have never met me before telling me how many mountains Kentucky has and how the Appalachians are in there. And I've never been to Eastern Kentucky. And the Appalachians are older than the Rockies and all this bull crap. It's crap. God created the world in 7 days. That's what the Bible says. The world is the same age. There ain't no older mountains, ain't no younger mountains. They're all within 7 days. I guess if 7 days is different, then there's 7 days difference. They're in age. That makes a difference. They're different mountains. They're different terrains. They're different landscapes. I know Kentucky had mountains, but why did I make that post? For controversy. To have fun. Because I love the way the Rocky Mountains look. Like I'm looking at right now at some Rocky Mountains out the window of my brother-in-law's house, and they're, oh man, the clouds are rolling over them. They're beautiful. Wish I could show them to you. I could try, but the clouds are over them. You won't be able to see much right now. Maybe. Dude, I'll tell you what. Check out my last vlog / podcast / video that I made. Check it out. It just rolled out like a couple days ago. It's all about me driving through the mountains. I recorded it while I was driving through, and then I voiceovered over it after I got out of the mountains. I got down and I recorded over it because I loved the video. I was like, I got to use this video. I was really going to speed it up and turn it into a high frame. Then I was like, no, this video is so awesome. I'm going to use it. So I did. Right. And I'm sure somebody's going to be like, and you know what I had to put on there? Because I know somebody was going to say it. Like, Dan, you're a safety guy. You shouldn't be doing stuff while you're driving. And I wasn't. I had the video in a phone. I did my phone in a stand, and I was recording from a stand as I drove. Crazy people. So I had to put, this was not recorded while driving, right? Like, and people are going to be like, of course it's recorded while driving, right? But I meant the voiceover wasn't recorded while driving, and the phone wasn't in my hand. People are silly. They love to complain. They love to look for flaws in somebody else. That's what I should do. I should do a series of podcasts / vlogs on how to win friends and influence people. Oh my gosh, yes. Mind blown. Don't forget that. You guys remind me. If you don't start seeing those coming out soon, remind me on social media. DM me. Send me an email. Be like, Dan, you remember the squirrel you chased down a rabbit hole on the last podcast all about, being controversial? Yeah, you need to start doing those because that is going to be wicked cool. I'm going to do those. All right. Back to the topic about being controversial. As a leader, you're not going out and you're not looking for fights. That's not what you're after. Okay? What you're after is being yourself and not being afraid to be who you are and telling people what you believe in. How would you feel about me if you didn't know I was a really hot, strong Christian? I mean, like, whoo, hot. I mean, yeah, you're lucky I'm married, ladies. No, I'm kidding. But I'm not kidding. I am married. But like, I'm not really that good looking. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like, if you didn't realize that I was such a strong Christian, would you be drawn to me? Maybe, potentially. But if you're a strong Christian, you might be drawn to me because I make your faith stronger. You might be drawn to me because you're like, oh, Dan can be this and a Christian. Oh, awesome. So can I. Right? There's so many things that when you're not neutral, that when you have a little bit of controversy or controversial topics in your life, that makes you a better person. It makes you more interesting. Right? Now, I got to laugh because I don't know if y'all have looked up my dad on Facebook. He didn't do anything other than Facebook. His name's Harry Greer. And Harry is, he does stuff just for controversy. So you know where I got it from. He'll make a comment on somebody's post just because he wants to. He makes a post just to start controversy sometimes. And I'm not saying that's the right way to go either, not by any means. But what I am saying is that you remember him. He's memorable. Once you meet him, you know who he is. Once you get introduced to him on Facebook, you know who he is. Another swig from my tumbler. Hold on. That is wicked cool. Check out that. It's the dripping .docs logo. I know, lots of squirrels today. But my point is like, as a leader, it's okay to be controversial. And I want you to realize that. It's okay if you don't please everybody. And when you're in sales, you're not out to sell to everybody. You're out to sell to one specific person, one particular type of people. And you got to listen to what they tell you too, right? And so being controversial isn't necessarily a bad thing. I would say what brings people and what makes you the most relatable is when you are a little bit controversial because you're saying something somebody else is afraid to say. That's exactly why I said in the podcast intro, not coming across as an authoritative prick, right? Because I want to be seen as a leader. I don't want to be seen as authoritative, and I don't want to be seen as a prick. And like, I'm okay to say that. It's my opinion. Guess what? You don't like the podcast intro? Don't listen to it. Fast forward through it. You don't like this podcast? What are you still doing listening to this? I say that at the end of every single one of them. Why are you still listening to this if you don't like this? Like, what the heck is your problem? Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you waste your time doing that? If you don't like what I got to say, you don't like the way I look, you don't like the way I talk, you don't like the way I act, you don't like the fact I'm a Christian, you don't like the fact that I'm in a business, you don't like the fact that I want to earn money, I want to make money, I want to grow. If you don't like that, don't follow me. I don't care. Right? You don't like the fact that I love to give back. You don't like the fact that I love my family. You don't like the fact that I love to travel, that I'm a pilot, that I'm a truck driver, that I love to drive. I love to fly. I love to try new things. If you don't like that, you don't like the fact that I'm controversial like that, then guess what? You don't have to follow me. You don't have to watch this. You don't have to be around me. You don't like the fact that I got a big nose or glasses or whatever. Any of those things that might be controversial. The fact that I'm a guy. Craziness. Anyways, my point is that that was quite a tangent. Sorry, guys. My point is that as a leader, it's okay to be controversial. A lot of times we try to hide that controversy because we're so scared of lawsuits. We're so scared of what's going to happen. How do we get from point A to point B? What happens if somebody doesn't like me? What happens if I offend this person? Now, I'm not telling you to go be offensive on purpose because that's crap. We never do that. Never in my life do I want to offend somebody on purpose, okay? I offend people on accident all day long, but it's on accident. That's a whole different story. But what I'm saying is that, like, if you're scared of controversy, if you're scared of being different or being you or being seen for who you are, nobody's able to follow you because they don't know what you stand for. They don't know where you stand. They don't know if they like you, if they hate you, if they want to be with you, if they don't. They don't know it. They don't understand it. They can't know you. They can't know the real you to know what they want to do. Me, you guys get the real me every time. There's nothing fake about me ever. Right now, my voice is shot, and that's why it sounds like it does. Talked to somebody today on the phone. I have to laugh. I got to tell you the story. So I've been in Kentucky. I was in Kentucky for 3 days. Talked to like 50,000 freaking people in Kentucky. Flew home for 10 hours. We didn't talk that much because it was pretty stressful flying home. My wife she doesn't do great with motion sickness. She's getting better, but like it takes a while to figure it out. So flying home, she was really worried about her tummy. She was hungry. She wanted to be able to eat. And she doesn't feel good eating when we fly. And so it's one of those things we're juggling right now, trying to figure out. And it was pretty stressful flying home just because of all the wind. We had like a 70, 80 mile an hour headwind at one point. It was unreal what it was. It was crazy. But pretty rough flight for part of the way. Told you all that, so I could tell you this. Yesterday, I went out and talked to clients and did training one-on-one with a guy. Today, I went out and talked to a few clients. I did 2 sessions of training today. Tomorrow, I'm doing training for 2 sessions for the public up here where I'm at in Montrose. And then Thursday, I've got 3 meetings in the morning. My voice is shot. It is shot, and I still have 3 days left of talking. And that's why it sounds like it does right now. And I had to laugh because I jumped on the phone with somebody leaving the meeting because my life doesn't end. I'm going to sound like Tony Robbins someday, I swear, if I keep doing what I'm doing. But anyways, I can handle hanging with Tony. My point is, squirrel. My point is that like my voice is shot, but I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. I'm still moving forward, right? It also gives me that piece of controversy, right? And I called a client. I was talking to her on the phone, and I had to laugh. She's funny. She's married. I'm married. We have a great relationship with each other. We joke around. I called her and I was like, hey, gal, how's it going? And she goes, good. She's like, wow, your voice sounds extra sexy today. I can't even get as cute as your voice is right now. And I was like, yeah, shot from talking straight for 5 days in a row without a break, and it's not over yet. And she goes, oh, yeah, that'll do it. That'll make your voice sound great. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't fix this. And I was like, still ugly as sin. And that's that controversy, right? That's the controversy right there that I'm talking about. The people love. It makes it relatable. It makes people laugh. So where I'm going with all this is like, when you're a leader, you've got to be willing to be controversial yourself, right? Tony Robbins isn't afraid to talk about his faith. Russell Brunson talks about the fact that he's a Mormon. You don't like it? You don't have to like it. Doesn't matter. He don't care. Tony Robbins says if you're not a Christian, he doesn't care, but that's what he believes, right? I'm the same way, right? I have to laugh because, I get people that's like, well, you don't talk about country music. Well, you don't talk about this. Well, you don't talk about that. Well, you're a DOT guy. Well, we do a lot more than DOT, right? And so I want to do more than DOT, but I'm also, controversially thinking about what I should be doing and how I should be doing it. And so as a leader, just slipped off the table. I'm tired. As a leader, you should probably be watching this video, not listening to this podcast. That's funny. As a leader, we're going to get this out eventually. You can't be afraid to be controversial, not rude, not disrespectful, not oblivious to people's feelings, but controversial, right? Because when you're controversial, you draw people to you. And when you draw people to you is when you succeed. That's when you win. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes people love you, is when you're controversial, when they can relate to you. You're relatable. When you're controversial, you're relatable. But again, I can't say it enough. Don't be rude. Don't be disrespectful. Being controversial is none of that crap, okay? It's not being racist. It's not being a bigot. It's not being any of that stuff. Being controversial is just being who you are and not being afraid to be who you are. If I believe that everybody in the world needs to be a Christian in order to live a good, holy life, that's not controversy. Okay? That's me not being open-minded. Right? Now, I hope that people pick up my faith and they see it and they go with it. But me making people feel bad for not being a Christian is not controversial. That's being a prick. Right? So, I want to end with this. You can't be afraid to be controversial, but don't be rude. Don't be racist. Don't be a bigot. Don't be a craphead. Don't be any of that stuff. Being controversial can be fun. Okay? Don't be afraid to be a little controversial. Now, got to say this, and then I'm going to tie off. If you liked our podcast, if you like this, rate us. Leave us a review. Follow us. If you don't like it, what are you still doing here? Man, I tell you what, you shouldn't even wasted your time with this. Get the heck out of here. You don't need to waste your time doing anything with us. Go find something better. Shoot. Don't email me if you didn't like it, because you probably won't like anything that I listen to either. But if you did like it, you want some more suggestions, keep watching our podcast. Keep listening to it. It'll be good. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I do care about all of y'all, and I'm so grateful that you're here, okay? I've been trying to figure out what to say, so I need to come up with a coined phrase for me. If y'all got a coined phrase that I use, I'd love to have it. Shoot it to me an email, a text, a DM, whatever. All right? You guys stay safe. Rubber side down. Ciao.